What we're about to explore today goes underneath the strategy, underneath the numbers, underneath the certifications and the years of experience and that you have built, right? That you have spent so many years developing. And the client results have accumulated. You as the client have accumulated. It goes to the place most pricing conversations never reach. And this is because most pricing conversations are treating a symptom while the real problem sits untouched. Most professionals who struggle with pricing are not struggling because they lack skill. This is a sentence that I say all the time. I repeat this every single time because I really want this to drive home. Most professionals who struggle with pricing are not struggling because they lack skills. Some of the people that I know are the smartest people, well credentialed. But if you ask them how much they charge for their product or services, they generally freeze, or they start justifying, or they feel uncomfortable telling you, or they end up telling you a number that is so low that you yourself start feeling uncomfortable. Have you heard those stories where people say, oh, how much you charge? Like they ask them how much they charge, they told them, and then they never hear back. Sometimes people or somebody you want to sell to will see your price and think that you're not skilled, that you're not skilled enough. If you were skilled enough, you will not be charging them that amount. The first time I heard somebody like Myron Gordon say, I charge $40,000 an hour or more, my heart dropped. The confidence and the ease with which he said that took me by surprise. But it made sense. It made sense because he knows the value he can create for you in 1 hour. Do you know the value you can create for somebody else in 1 hour? Do you know the value that the skills that you have, the certificates that you have, everything you have built over your lifetime is worth per hour to somebody else? Are you confident enough to say that amount that you think? If you do not know that amount, it's easy. It's quite easy. Leave a comment, inbox me, find a link in any of my bios, and I will send you a calculator that you can use just to see if I were to calculate accumulation of everything I have done, what is the valuation, right? We hear about valuation for big companies. Oh, wow. Somebody on TikTok, give me 1 second. Somebody on TikTok is, no, that is not true. I am not using any sexual content. Let's see. All right, maybe somebody wants me to put a shirt on. I don't know. So somebody on TikTok is saying something about bodily exposure and sexual content. Wow, it's the summer and there is heat. People, it's the summer and there's heat. All right, let me put a pretty jacket and I'll be right back. Let me put a very pretty jacket and I'll be right back. It's really hot, but let me put a pretty jacket on. Now, how about that? Okay. Now, let's not use any excuses to ban this live. If you're on the live on TikTok, please leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. Let's not have any reasons to ban this live or to reduce the visibility of this live. The restriction is unfair and it's not right because it's summer. Oh, come on, people. No need to be unnecessarily hateful. There's no need. All right. For those of you that are listening on Facebook and listening on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, thank you for following. Thank you for following. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. Isn't this a pretty jacket? If you see me sweating, please know that's why somebody is not happy that I had a sleeveless, very pretty cultural attire on. And if you don't know me, I love cultural attires. I do just love cultural attires. So I think representing cultures, it's one of the most beautiful things about us as humans. So if somebody's not too happy about that, there's not too much I can do but put on another very pretty, well-designed cultural attire. Okay, now let's go back into the serious stuff. What I'm teaching you here is things that I teach within my coaching, and I charge a lot of money for it. You can comment if you want to hear how much I charge. I will not give you anything I cannot charge for. So, as I was saying, most professionals who struggle with pricing are not struggling because they lack skill. They are struggling because two things that feels like they should not be connected to are actually completely separate, right? So the amount of money that they charge and the value that they create, they think that those two things should be separate, which is not the case. Those two things should not be separate. Knowing your work deeply and believing you deserve to be paid for it fully are not different. Are just not different, right? Think about it. Knowing your work deeply and believing that you deserve to be paid for it fully should not be two different things. They are part of the same coin. Even though they are two different skill sets that you have to understand, but they are parts of the same coin. One is built through training, practice, time, and the field. The other is built through something entirely different, something that most professional development programs never really address, something that most accomplished people have never been given the permission to examine. They were never taught, and most people were only ever given one of these. One is the mindset. One is the mindset. One is the skill set. What happens as a result is very predictable when you only have one. You become genuinely excellent at what you do. You accumulate credentials. You accumulate credentials and experience and proof. You build a track record that speaks for itself. You know in part. You know the part of what that value is that you bring, but you don't know how to fully price it. So you build a track record that speaks for itself. You know, and in the part of that, and that part of what you know is very honest to you, that part of what you know is very true to you, that part of what you know is very real. So, like when I say I have 7 degrees, that is very real. When I say I have founded a nonprofit that has completed $1 million project, that is very real. When I say I have worked for over 30 years, or I've been working since I was a child, if you want to consider some of the housework, the farm works, and all of that, I've been working for so many years. Those are all valid. The certifications that you have acquired, all are valid. All of those are things, your skill sets that you have acquired over the years are all valid and very true, not just to you, but on paper and everything else. Like I was saying, one is built on training, practice, and time in the field. The other is built through something entirely different. Drop in the comments if you're listening. What are some skill sets that you have? What are some skill sets that you have? What are the credentials that you have? Do you have degrees? Do you have certificates? Do you have career training skills that you've developed over years? What do you have? Even if you don't put it in the comment, think about it. Make a note of it. Make a note of all the things that you have that you think qualify you to be an expert, all the things that you have, all the things that you might know that makes you make a difference in somebody else's life in 1 hour. I'll give you a second. That was more than a second. So all those things that you listed lead to a very predictable result. You know what you deliver. You know what those degrees deliver. And somebody else, by just looking at it, can predict. If I say I have an MBA, you can predict that I am going to be good at managing businesses. But am I really good at managing businesses? Can I really create the kind of value that that degree is stating that I can create? And once you're able to create the kind of value that your degrees, your certifications, and all of that is worthy of, then again, the other side of the coin, you should charge for that. And you should not just charge, you should charge a rate that is worthy of what you bring, worthy of the impact that you create. You shouldn't just charge because, hey, a consultant gets $100 an hour. I'm going to charge $100 an hour. A consultant gets $50 an hour. I'm going to charge $50 an hour. You don't just charge based on popular opinion. You charge based on the value that you create. And sometimes it's hard for you to charge based on the value you create because you have not seen the impact of the work that you're doing on others. How much is somebody else willing to pay you for that impact that you're creating? I just told you the story of Myron Gordon that says, "Oh, I'm going to I charge $40 an hour or more." People pay him that. Why do people pay somebody $40,000 an hour It's not because they have a bunch of degrees, a bunch of credentials, a bunch of certifications. No, it's because that person is 100% confident that if they sit down with you in 1 hour, the knowledge they're going to get is going to make them $40,000 and above. $40,000 and above. The change that be is going to be far more valuable than that cash. So it's not just about all the degrees that we accumulate. It is about the value that we create. It is about the value that we create. If we cannot create value, somebody is not going to pay us for that service. You could charge me $100 for something, and I will walk out of that thing, even though it was a good rate and you promise and you have all these degrees and you have all these things, and I will walk out. Why do I walk out? I walk out because your degrees are not backing up, are not creating value for me. The degrees are for you to take and turn into value. The certificate that you get is not just a certificate. You're getting the certificate as a step in the door so that you can create value. If you're somebody that wants to start your coaching business, you have to think about what is the value that you're going to create for this person. If you cannot point the transformation, and if people cannot start seeing the transformation, then it stops being a pricing problem. It just becomes a value creation problem that you have. I really want to read you something from that a customer sent to me and how it changed their life. This is on page 15 of the $1 Million Mind, How to Build a World-Class Coaching Business from What You Already Know, page 15. It says, deliverables are not a problem. That is the overall intro. Deliverables are not a problem, right? And if you cannot clearly state the problem your client feels they meet, no, let me read it again. And if you cannot clearly state the problem your client feels before they meet you, you cannot communicate value in a way that makes your solution obvious. Most clients are not looking for a tool or a process. Today, ChatGPT and all the other AI can give you tools and processes. But what most clients are looking for, they are looking for relief, right? I'm interjecting. They are looking for relief. The area that the client highlighted was this: like a doctor, your value is not your credentials or how long you trained. Your value is your ability to identify what is really causing the pain, explain it clearly, and help them live with clarity and a workable path forward. The question they are silently asking is simple. Do you understand what I am carrying, and can you help me put it down? When he read this, it shifted how he does his work. That very day, he saw somebody struggling with a client, and somebody that was not as credentialed as him was supposed to take care of that client. But that person did not jump in right away to help. Instead of him sitting there saying, well, I'm your boss, I'm higher up, it's your job to do this, it's your job to do that. He jumped right in. He jumped right in because he remembered that it's not about his credentials. These people did not come there because of his credential. They came there because They wanted relief. They wanted a solution to their problem. They wanted clarity on the issue. They wanted help. And him jumping in made his value even more valuable to the client. The next day, the client brought gifts and said, oh, thinking I'm going to come thank this junior person that helped me with this situation. And then when they came in, they asked for the person and they say, hey, this junior person was helping me. I don't want to name names. This junior person was helping me. And once that person came to meet that client, the client realized, oh, this person was not a junior person. This person was actually one of the leads, right? And they were so happy. In that very moment, one paragraph that this customer read made him behave differently at work, so much so that the value that he is there to create was so obvious to the client that he came back with gifts. So basically, having those degrees was not what made him shine that day. Having those degrees did not cause that client to come and say, oh, you have a doctorate, you have a bachelor's, you have a certificate in this. Oh, here's a beautiful gift because you have all these certificates. No, the client came back because the value that he created for them that day made such a magnificent difference in the life of the patient that they had brought in, which the patient was their relative. So what value are you creating at your work? So it's not just about charging $1,000 for something. It's not about charging $50,000 for something. It's not about charging $100 for something. That's not it. It's the value. What is the value that you are creating for that person? Sometimes you're not getting paid less because you're not confident at work. Sometimes you have to build that connection between your expertise and the price. And sometimes most people struggle to connect their expertise and their price because they have never really sat down to calculate it. Nobody has ever taught you how to connect expertise and price. I'm not talking about company standards. I've already spoken so much about value, creating value. So let's not think that I am talking about company standards, right? Like the company benchmarks. No, they are company benchmarks. But let's go beyond the company benchmarks, people. Let's go beyond company benchmarks. You might be losing an incredible client, an incredible employee, an incredible worker at your job or at your company because you're so attached, you're so married to benchmark that you do not see the person past an 8-hour day. You do not see the person past a benchmark that the industry created. Just because 500,000 people are paying $20 an hour for something does not mean that that's the value that person is bringing. And so if the person is asking you to pay them a bit more, if you're charging a bit more, let me talk to those of you that have businesses and charging more. If you're charging a bit more, the most important thing is what is the value what is the value you're creating? What is the value you're creating? Are you charging more just for the sake of charging more? What is the value you're creating? If you're telling me this thing is $200 and that person doesn't want to pay $200, it means that person is not seeing the value that you're creating. Like I said in the beginning, $40,000 an hour, $40,000 an hour. The person that pays $40,000 an hour knows what that person is charging, knows what they're going to get from that person. Confidence, just confidently saying, oh, I know my job, I'm good at my job, and I'm going to do this. It's great. It's great. It's great. Be confident. I'm not saying don't be confident. Be 100% confident. But make sure that your confidence is matched by the results that you provide. Make sure your confidence is matched by the results that you provide. I think it was last session that I said, I do not feel 100% comfortable in environments where I don't think I'm creating results. Just working 8 hours a day just to collect a paycheck and leave. Oh, I'm just here to collect my paycheck. You're undervaluing yourself. You're undervaluing yourself. If you think you're just there to collect your paycheck, you're undervaluing yourself. If somebody gives you a task and you just do it just to finish it and deliver it so that you deliver it on time, you're undervaluing yourself. You're undervaluing yourself. If you just want to go check in, check out, do the bare minimum over the deliverables, you're undervaluing yourself. Not just undervaluing yourself as in price, but you're undervaluing yourself as a person and your skills. You're almost disrespecting your skills, people. You're almost disrespecting your skills. You're disrespecting what you're capable of bringing to the table. You're disrespecting everything you have worked hard for and built over your life. So don't do this clock in, clock out thing. Even if you are in a 9-to-5 job where you clock in, clock out, your value, make sure you're creating value. Make sure you know the value you bring. Don't let the company be the one to tell you the value you bring. Make sure you know the value you bring. That is only when you will be able to boldly say, I deserve $50 an hour instead of $35 an hour. I deserve $100 an hour instead of $20 an hour. I deserve. And if you choose not to charge $20 an hour and charge $10 an hour, is because that's what you choose. Or unless you're doing it so that you can show that you are capable of doing that thing in such a high level that it forces that person to want to pay you more. And if they still do not want to pay you more, that's when you find a different company that will pay you more. I said to a client, to a worker, somebody that works for me recently, I said, look, I don't want you to charge me any less than your value or the worth that you're worth, less than your worth. I don't want you to charge me less than your worth. I don't want you to charge me anything that you are not happy with. And if I cannot afford it, then I cannot afford it. I would tell you, I cannot afford you. I cannot afford you at this time. But I do not want you to say, I'll charge you less. If you choose to charge me less, let it be your choice. Let it be your choice. Let it not be because that is the benchmark. Let it not be because that's what everybody is doing. Let it be because you choose to accept to work for this price, maybe for a given amount of time until you've proven your worth. And once you've proven your worth, then you can ask for a raise, ask that it be increased. And if the company still doesn't see your worth, then you're not a good match at that time. Then you're not a good match at that time. No be power, oh, no be power. Like we say in Pidgin, no be power. No be by force. No be by force. Right? Simply saying that come to a place where you're happy. You're confident about the value that you bring. You understand the value that you bring so well. And that you're willing to charge what that value is worth. Not just to you, but to the company also. These are not new ideas. These are not new ideas. They're people that have said the same things that I'm saying in very, very different ways. But my goal today is to let it sink in. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Creating impact and transformation. Creating impact and transformation. Problem, solution, impact. The POI model is found in the $1 Million Mind book that I wrote. The POI model, know the problem that the company is facing or the person is facing, work with them to create a solution, and make sure there is an impact. Not just solution, an impactful solution. What is that impact that you're creating? What is that impact? Measure that, charge for that. Don't waste your time charging for hourly rates. Charge for that. Even if you're charging an hourly rate, make sure that it is reflecting the impact that you're creating. Yeah, I get really excited about this. I can't believe we've been going for about 30 almost 40 minutes. Thanks again to those of you that are following. Thanks to those of you that are following on TikTok. Thank you. Thank you. Drop a comment in the thing. Drop a like in the chat. If you want a free copy of the $1 Million Mind, drop it in the chat. I come bearing gifts. Drop it in the chat or inbox me, and I will send you a copy of chapter 4 of the $1 Million Mind and a value ledger calculator. You can go calculate and see all the expertise, everything that you have accumulated for all these years. What is it worth? What is the valuation of all of this? If that only makes you very confident, even if it just boosts your confidence, then I have achieved one thing, because I need you to be very confident in the value that you can create for somebody else. I am very confident in the value that I can create for you. Very, very confident in the value I can create for you. Are you confident in the value you can create for somebody else? I know what I bring to the companies that I work with. I know what I bring to my students. But it's up to my students to take it, implement it, and turn it into gold. What I have shared with you so far today is up to you to take it, implement it, think on it, sit on it, reflect on it, and use it to turn it into gold for yourself. That part only you can do. I've done the hard work of compiling everything, doing the research, talking to experts, compiling all the information that I can offer you. But if I sit down and I'm offering to you, you don't ask me any questions, you don't ask me to send you anything to help you out, then there's not much I can do for you. You've got to want this. You've got to want to create value, so much value that if your company is unwilling to pay you for the value you create, you can go find people that will pay you for the value you create. I mentioned the person that charges $40,000 an hour. He's not going to go to a company and say, hire me per hour so I can be working $40,000 an hour. No, he's going to find the kind of people that are willing to pay him $40,000 an hour. That's what you do. That's what you do. Credentials alone will not fix your financial issues. Trust me, I know. Why do I say I know? I went from community college where I got 4 degrees, and then I went and I got a a Bachelor of Science degree in business administration. Then I went and got an MBA, and then I went and got a PhD. It did not solve my financial problems. It did not. It did not. So I'm teaching you a mind shift that I am also experiencing in my own life. Because I was sitting on those degrees and I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't getting a job just because I have the degrees. No. So I said to myself, I need to find the people that need the transformation that I offer and offer them this transformation, because the places where I am are not able, I'm not saying unwilling, they are not able to pay for the kind of transformation I can bring. And it has nothing to do with my skills. It doesn't mean I don't have the certifications. It simply means they are not able to pay for the kind of transformation. I'm literally giving you transformation that has cost me over $25,000 to acquire. Some of the things I'm teaching you in this session today has cost me over $25,000 to make that mind shift. So far, I think it's even sitting on about $50,000 for me to get the mind shift that I'm sharing with you today. And that's just a fraction that I'm giving to you today. All you have to do is listen to this over and over again until you really get it. If you still don't get something, reach out to me and ask a question and I'll answer you. If something is unclear about what I've said today, reach out, ask me a question, put a comment, and I will address it. If you want a copy of chapter 4 of the $1 Million Mind book, reach out, and I'll give it to you. If you want the calculator so you can go calculate your value, reach out so I can give it to you. Again, I said I come bearing gifts. I come bearing gifts. So like I said, it is nothing to do with with your skills or your certifications. It has everything to do with what is happening in your mind and how you see the value that you create. Here are some things people get wrong about why they undercharge. I generally give 3 points and then I give some sub points under the points. So I'm going to run through, since we do not have a lot of time. I'm not going to discuss them as much because we have really gone deep in this discussion in the first part of this. So I'm going to give you 3 points. Point 1, knowing your work well and believing you deserve to be paid for it are different skills. They are different skills, but part of the same coin. You could say 2 different sides of the same coin. Most professionals were trained in one and left to figure out the other on their own. Oh, right? I asked so many people, when I get my PhD, what do I get? How much should I charge? Nobody knew. When I was getting my master's degree, hey, when I get my master's degree, how much should I charge? How much do you think it's the best amount I should make? A bunch of company standards, a bunch of benchmarks, right? You can be genuinely excellent at what you do and still shrink when someone asks you your rate. Remember the guy that charges 40,000 or the man that charges 40,000? And it's not just one person that does it. There's several people that charges a lot of money per hour if they're going to talk to you one-on-one. And when they tell you the price, they don't freeze. They tell you exactly what it is because they know the value they're going to create for you. When you ask me how much it's going to charge me, it's going to charge for you to be coached by me, I'm going to tell you, and you can figure out the numbers for yourself. I only charge a fraction of 1%. A fraction of 1% of the value I can create for you. That's it. That's it. So when you hear the price that when you go out to charge, once you give somebody that's asking you how much you charge, and you freeze or you shrink or you start offering discounts before they open their mouth, it is not a modesty issue. It's just because you haven't received the training. And it's not necessarily a confidence issue. It's just because you really haven't seen the numbers. Once you see those numbers, nah, you're not gonna shrink ever again. You're not gonna shrink. You're gonna willingly adjust your rate to serve a purpose, but you're not going to shrink. You're not going to shrink. And there are times where I will strongly suggest adjust your rate to do so to meet a purpose, but have a purpose as to why. Have a purpose as to why. Pricing confidence in general is a muscle. It is not taught in school. It is not taught in school. I know the numbers. I know the calculation. Oh, what you put in, how much the product costs, how much raw material costs, and all of that. You put all of those together. You calculate your cost, and then you calculate that, and then you figure out the profit and all of that. Your selling price, your cost, your cost price, and all of that. You figure all of that. That's not what we're talking about. Those are there. Those are out there, yes. I'm talking about a different muscle that builds on value. Not just, hey, because I bought the raw materials for $100 and it cost me these hours and this hour it costs this much to do. And then if I sell it for this, I'm going to make $3 for profit. And then if I sell 1,000, I'm going to make $3 for a profit. I'm going to make maybe $300 profit. Those are all good. Those are all good. But you are missing out on some other value that you are creating. And now it's my job to help you see what are the other values you're missing out, you're not taking into consideration. What are they? What are they? Your product might be $5, right? And you're going to make a $2 profit, a $3 profit. But there must be something that you haven't calculated. And it is my job within my coaching to show you what you are missing and why that $5 product is probably worth $10. And if you do the right steps, you follow all the steps, then you can have a $10 product doing almost the same thing you were doing before. Increasing your hours, hustling for more hours is not what is going to get you out of that financial place that you're stuck in. It's a different strategy. It's a mindset. It's the value ledger calculation. Intelligence does not create pricing confidence. You can know more than anyone in the room and still undercharge. So let's work on that confidence, okay? Let's work on that confidence. Yeah, work on what is going to help you get the confidence, and confidence that is backed up by value and not just confidence. It absolutely is irritating when I see somebody that has so much confidence but doesn't deliver. Mm, mm. And if I can come here with a lot of confidence and doesn't give you one thing in this life that makes your life a little bit different or make you smile today or say, oh yeah, that was good information, then please let me know so as you stop wasting my time and yours. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Let me know so I can stop wasting my time and yours. Right? I want to create value for you. I want that every time I sit down and prepare and study, even if it's a story that I told about somebody else, may that story encourage you. Even if it is a reminder, may you get a reminder today that your value is worth more than you think. But you have to structure it right. You have to structure it right. You can't just have confidence in what you know and not know how to deliver it. It just doesn't work. All right, let's go to point 2 before we run out of time. Where underpricing actually comes from. 1, conditioning. What you watched the adults around you believe about money and asking for things. Think about all the people that inspire you to charge what you charge. The comparison trap. Looking at what others charge and letting them become your ceiling. Remember benchmark? I kept talking about benchmark. The belief that needing to prove value means lowering the price. I say you can adjust your price when you have a reason to, but don't adjust your price just because. So that belief needs to shift. None of these are logical conclusions, they are inherited ones. And inherited beliefs can be examined and changed. And it is my pleasure to be the one to help you change those inherited beliefs. It will be my pleasure to help move you from these inherited beliefs to a place where you get paid your worth. To a place where you get paid your worth. Again, comment so I can send you some free resources. Reach out so I can send you some free resources. Point 3, the not ready yet trap and how to get out of it. The not ready yet trap and how to get out of that not ready yet trap. One more certification. I just need one more certification. I just need that one more certification. I just need that one more year of training. I just need to deliver this case study, this one more case study. That is when I will start charging more. I just need to do this one other thing, then I will increase my rate. This is the most common pattern among highly qualified, chronically undercharging professionals. We're constantly changing certificates. When I got my bachelor's and they told me how much I was going to get an hour, I was like, yeah, forget that. I'm going to go get me a master's. When I got my master's, I was like, I tried to get a job and they told me to dumb down my degree so that I could get an entry level job. That's what the recruiter told me. Like a coach that I was getting, they were not a full coach, but I paid for a little bit so that they can give me advice. And they said I needed to dumb down my degree so that I can get an entry level job and then work my way up with a master. Meanwhile, at a master, I was told that no, I needed to. With a bachelor's, it was like no, you need a master's to get into this, to be at this level. And then I get the master's, like no, you need to dump it down so you can get into the entry level and then work your way up. Then I was like, forget it. I'm gonna go get a doctorate so that nobody can use a degree against me. And then I got a doctorate, and then I was like, I got my first job, and I saw the pay. I thought it was a mistake. Not a good mistake, a very bad mistake. I thought, wait a minute, if you're going to pay me this much, I would never be able to pay my rent or pay my student loans. What was the point of my doctorate? Then I sat back and I remember what somebody has said to me in when I was getting my first few onboarding session for my doctorate degree, and they said, look, you're gonna get what you put in. You're gonna get $1 million degree, or you're gonna get $100,000 degree. And I remember that, and I said, okay, I need a mindset shift. It is not the degrees that is gonna make people pay me what I'm worth. It is the value that I create for them that is gonna make them pay me what I'm worth. So I worked at different companies and I did the best I can to prove my value. And still, nothing is changing. Again, like I said, not because the companies don't want to pay me my value, it's because they can sometimes afford to pay you your value. So you go find people that can afford to pay you your value, even if you're still working your other job, but work on finding the right people that can pay you your value. It has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with you and your own survival, and you bringing something into this world, creating something in this world that makes an impact and makes a difference. If you're a floor cleaner and you charge $20 per hour to clean floors, and somebody charges $10 an hour to clean floors, it's because the person that is paying for $20 an hour to clean floors knows. Have you heard the stories that there are nannies that make $150,000 a year? Meanwhile, somebody with a PhD is barely making $30,000 a year. Why? It's because the nanny found somebody that appreciates their value, or that is willing to pay for the value that they create. All right. I get off track and I get excited and I tell you lots of stories. So the not ready yet trap. Point 2 under the not ready yet trap. Ready does not come from credentials. It has never come from credentials. Again, being ready does not come from credentials. It not fully. So don't take me out of context. We are talking now about somebody that is highly skilled, highly credentialed, highly equipped, right? So you can always find some other training to go to. You can always find some other thing to learn. So you need to get out of that mindset and start building value for people. So it doesn't come from credential. It comes from deciding. The waiting is not preparation at a certain point. Waiting is not preparation. It is avoidance. Wearing a professional disguise, right? Now you're avoiding. Why wearing a professional disguise? More, let me get more certification. Let me get more degrees. Let me get more this. Let me do this. I'll get trained more. Let get this more. Get this more. That's just avoidance. That's just avoidance. You're avoiding to build value that can change somebody else's life. The fact that I'm sitting here talking to you, if one person learns something from this, then I have done my job. I'm creating value. Instead of sitting in a location where I'm not creating value, I'm not creating the kind of value I know I can create for people. I want to create value for people. I want to create value for you. I want to impact you. So here's a practical shift. Stop pricing based on how ready you feel. Start pricing based on the result you deliver. Think about the result you deliver. Is the client willing to pay for that result you deliver? I don't want you to just go out there right now and start saying, "Oh, my thing, what I created is worth $100. It's worth this. It's worth that." No. Make sure the results are. You have proof for those results. Make sure there's proof for those results that you promise, right? Make sure there's proof for the results you promise. Like I just read the thing that one chapter or one paragraph in the $1 Million Mind caused the customer to completely shift their mindset and behave differently at work that day. And it was very evident to the person they were serving, to the point where the person they were serving brought them a gift the next day. So your practical shift is to stop pricing based on how ready you are, especially when it comes to the being ready trap, and just think about the value and the result you can create. Even if you don't have the degrees, create result. Create results. Let people see the impact. Create results. Create results. Ask yourself what it is worth to be the person on the other side. And if this actually works for them, and if this will actually work for them, whatever you're offering, ask yourself what it is worth to that person. And if it will actually work for them. Again, if you're struggling, start with the numbers. Calculate the numbers. Start with the numbers, calculate the numbers, and then go from there. Calculate the numbers. And again, I've promised you a value ledger calculator. If you comment, if you let me know in the chat that you want it, so I can give it to you. Yeah? So today, I hope that you have learned why undercharging is a mindset pattern and not a skills trap. I also hope that you have learned the specific inherited beliefs that keep qualified professionals undercharging their work. I hope that you have taken a concrete way to start shifting from comfort-based pricing to value-based pricing. If you did not feel like you had these 3 takeaways, please go back and listen to the entire session and take notes. That way you can see clearly the 3 lessons that I wanted you to learn today. This actually is the core of the $1 Million Mind book. The $1 Million Mind, how to build a world-class coaching business from what you already know. And this book is not just for coaches. It's for all professionals. It's for anybody that feels like they have something to offer to another person. Again, the person that I mentioned in this example today is not a coach. It's not a coach. Until you deal with the mental side of value, your pricing will keep reflecting your doubts instead of your worth. So the link is in the bio. reach out to me, ask questions, ask and you shall receive, ask and you shall receive, ask and you shall receive. All right, that's it for today. Thanks to all of you who joined. I am planning another live for Saturday. No, Saturday we do not have a live. Saturday we do not have a live. I have a pro engagement. I have to teach at a different location. I have to teach people at a different location. So this Saturday I'm not available. So I will most likely see you on Monday. But check out my page at least 2 hours before the session. If not sooner, 2 hours before the session, we put up an announcement that I will be going live. So check that out. If you don't see an announcement from me 2 hours before the session, then it is likely that I might not be going live. But I try to go live either at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday, Thursdays, and Saturday. That's the tentative schedule. And if anything changes, I'll let you know. But again, thank you that joined. I hope this was valuable and created value for you. Until next time, ciao. Asante sana. Asante sana. I keep mixing that Swahili word for thank you. Asante. Asante, everybody.